got a little opening. It says, "Welcome everyone back to Milk and Whiskey. We're gonna get a raw, unfettered glass of recovery stories with a shot of some humor. And yes, we may dabble in other topics, but my main goal is to shed some light on recovery. So today I got a couple of my friends here. I got George, Albert, Terry. So who wants to go first just to give us a little insight? Tell us. I mean, the reason why I brought George here was because he's like the only one that I know that's not an alcoholic, right? He's like basically like whenever we did the podcast with Mike, you're basically the me of that.
Oh,
Because I'm like usually the only alcoholic with a room of like Bible thumpers.
right.
You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I haven't walked that path. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God. Yeah.
What about you, Albert?
What was the question?
Just I guess you want to tell us a little bit about your how long you been in a church, or like what are your beliefs?
I'm Jorge. I'm Christian. I grew up. My family was Catholic, and so I always grew up with some semblance of, church attendance or things like that. When I After I left the Army, when I got here to Florida, when I was in like 2000, I got here to Florida on a permanent basis in 98. And then in about 2001, a former member here who, we were friends at the time, invited me to what was at the time New Community Church, which is this, but we used to meet over at Mill Creek Plaza.
Okay.
In a storefront over there. But I've been coming to this church ever since. So 20
years ago?
4 years at this point. Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. I met Ethan when he was like a baby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like 3 years old.
That's crazy. So you got to see his whole life.
Yeah. So I've been around. Yeah. And I've been in this church ever since. So since 2001 or so.
Yeah, you're like the first, I think I've heard that has been around that long. Who else has been? I mean, I'm trying to think. I'm like, there's very few, right?
Yeah. Penske.
It's
been around a long time.
I know the Penske, the whole family.
Right. Sarah, exactly.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot.
Not a lot.
Yeah, there's only a handful of us that have been here the whole time. Yeah, that long. So
that's what's up.
Yeah, but yeah, just I don't know, regular guy.
Never. I mean, you drink alcohol though.
Yeah. It's just never been Yeah,
you can pick it up or leave it alone.
Yeah, it's never been a problem. Yeah. I can indulge and have.
What about drugs?
Have a nice time. Nothing like hardcore or anything like that.
Just a little wee.
Yeah. That's it. Nothing beyond that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, what do you want to know about me?
Well, just tell me a little bit about you. Act like I don't know you.
Okay.
Well, speak to, I guess, George, because you don't know him.
I'm Maxwell's friend, so he invited me over to have this conversation. I not a member of this church, but I do have a home group that I go to, and we use the facilities here, and so I know Pastor Mike, and I know some of the people that go here, some of the members of the church.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
Have you ever had a problem with alcohol or drugs?
Yes, I have. Very much so.
Okay.
What do you want to know? A little bit
what
more
about
my drinking?
Yeah, I mean, just give me a little insight of like where it took you.
My drinking, I don't understand people doing.
Like people like George.
Yeah, I don't understand people like George. I think nowadays things are different now, but just growing up, let's say when drinking became a thing, maybe at 13, 14.
Did drinking become a thing for you at 13, 14?
No, I mean, no.
Let's put it.
It's never been a thing. I mean, I tasted alcohol, but it never in my life. I didn't actually start like drinking on any kind of regular basis till I was 19, 20, like when I was in the army. And that's it.
So the first time I saw drinking as a thing, like even exist,
Okay.
was at a soccer practice, and they said we're gonna hang out and we're gonna drink some beers. Never drank before, but that's, I guess what I mean is it came into my life. Before that, it never was a thing. I was an 11-year-old, 12-year-old, 13-year-old, focus on 11, 12-year-old, 13-year-old things. And when it appeared in my life, and I began drinking, people who didn't drink were just not, it just wasn't attractive to me. If you went to Cooper City High School, there were people who went out on Friday nights or Saturday nights, right? It didn't matter whether you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior. There are people who went out, and there are people who didn't. You want to call it popular, not popular, whatever. But out of the people that went out, I knew who I wanted to hang out with, and the people that I wanted to hang out with drank.
Yeah.
I mean, we got drunk. We drank to get drunk. It was fun. And no offense, George, at all. Like
None taken.
What I thought of people who didn't drink, what I just thought they were nerds, or they were, herbs, as we used to call them back in the day. And that was just, the blind, very, very blind opinion of a 14-year-old kid. I just sincerely thought that's what a nerd is, and this is what a cool kid does. But it wasn't just being cool. Like, I liked getting drunk. It was an amazing thing for me.
And how long did you drink?
How long did I drink for?
Yeah. And did you do drugs as well?
I did. I drank for 20 years, from about 14 to 34. And I did lots of drugs. I actually, right when I started drinking, I started smoking weed. Weed was a it was a weird experience. First time I smoked, I never got high. I pretended I got high because that's what a 14-year-old does, tries to fit in. You guys are high, so I'm high, but I really didn't feel anything. Maybe a little bit of, this is funny, like laughing a little bit more than usual, but didn't really get high. Then I got high, and it didn't really like it, because it was like I got really fucking high. All right. And then, but it wasn't a whole awful experience or anything like that. It was just not great. And then I got, pretty much through my high school career, my friends started buying more, selling drugs. As a senior, I, sold dimes and nickels to people.
Yeah.
I would.
So why did you stop?
It was never a thing for me. Like, when I was selling drugs, when I was selling weed, I didn't smoke it.
Yeah.
It was not. It was like you explained, George, drinking. I could take it or leave it. Not a big deal. It was just there. Made a little money. Bought cool sneakers, but it just.
So why did you stop drinking and using altogether?
Why did I stop?
Yeah, why did you stop altogether?
I stopped drinking and using because my life was out of control. It was bad. My life was very bad. I don't know how deep you need me to get into.
mean-
Maybe you
I mean, Terry already got into it like a couple times, so yeah.
but my life was awful. My life was at the jumping off point. So I didn't want to live.
Yeah.
I knew I had to stop drinking way before I stopped drinking.
Yeah. And how was your mental health compared to compared today to how it was then?
So I don't know much. I don't know anything about mental health.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. Like on the way here, you were like, he was like,
I really don't.
he's like, I don't know shit about fuck.
I don't know anything about mental health.
Yeah.
Did I see mental health professionals throughout my drinking and using throughout those 20 years? Yes. I was prescribed stuff from psychiatrists. There is a wide, so, okay. I'm not schizophrenic, I'm not bipolar, but I have been diagnosed with depression and anxiety and given medication for depression and anxiety. Those are like your surface level, like, you know, if you got schizophrenia, that's a whole different ballgame. But if you are, you know, you see depression and anxiety in the mainstream. I know tons of people that have been diagnosed with depression or anxiety and given medication for it. So,
So you basically didn't have much mental clarity then.
well, I'll tell you this: I was a depressive teenager. When my first girlfriend broke up with me, it was the worst. It was the end of the world. When my second girlfriend broke up with me, you know, shamefully, I'd cut myself trying to get it back. Like I remember being super, super depressed, not wanting to do anything. However, I'll say this, I believe it was SSRIs that they gave me. And I've heard someone say this.
SSRI?
SSRIs are the medication that they give you for depression, or they gave me for depression and anxiety, actually, for both. These are long-term meds.
Did it get you high?
Doesn't get you high.
Oh.
Doesn't get you high.
Yeah,
Block
it's
serotonin or something.
yeah, it's something reuptake inhibitor or something like that. Yeah,
How do you know about that?
because I was on Wellbutrin for a while, which is an SSRI, I think.
Yes,
Pretty
this is serotonin. Serotonin
So
reuptake inhibitor.
Is okay.
what made you get onto that?
What put me where I was taking Wellbutrin?
Yeah.
My failed second marriage.
Not the first one?
No.
You didn't care about the first one?
I cared. It just didn't hit me the same. Like
okay.
it was difficult, but I kind of dealt with it. I think I had bigger fish to fry. Like at the same time that my first marriage ended, at the time that I started getting sick with like my condition. So that, I think my physical.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Like you have like you had something with your stomach, right?
Yeah, ulcerative colitis. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So to the point where they had to remove my large intestine. I don't have a large intestine because it was so diseased.
Yeah. Can you show that?
Can I show my scars?
Yeah, bro. He showed me his scar one time. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, I have a bunch of scars. Yeah. But I think with that first one, I just had so many other things going on. I mean, it was the first time, you know, my daughter was 2, so I was focused on, I think I had more to focus on besides the end of the marriage. It was like, you know, my health, how am I going to be, you know, how am I going to parent this kid that I had intentionally in a marriage with the intent of raising her together with her mother and this and that. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like everything. It was a paradigm shift. Like my reality just was like everything is out the window. So I think I had just other things that preoccupied me, I guess. At the end of the second marriage, I was just laser focused on that situation. So, you know, I
did you ever have like mental health issues growing up, or
I don't think so.
No.
But the only time in my life, the only 2 times in my life that I've wanted not to be alive was at the peak of like my disease, where like there would be days that I wake up and instead of being grateful for another day, I would just almost be disappointed that I woke up. You know, like I would kind of literally tell God, like, thanks again, God. Oh yeah. I was on. I was for about 2 years. I was regularly on Percocet and what's the other one with the A? I don't
with
know.
an A.
There's yeah.
I mean,
it'll
Percocet
come to me.
and
But yeah,
anxiety.
I had a but no. I was in severe chronic pain all the time, and the doctors prescribed, but it never got to the point of any type of abuse or anything like that.
Yeah.
The
You
only
took
time
it as prescribed.
I did, but check this out. During probably my worst hospital stay, that would have, by the books, been my shortest hospital stay, a 3 to 4 day stay ended up turning into a 34-day stay. That I got released like the day before Thanksgiving or something like that of that year, 2014, I want to say, something like that. But during most of that stay, they had me on Dilaudid. And I remember that when I left the hospital, I don't remember what they gave me to like wean me off, but it just didn't compare. And I remember thinking to myself, like, it's a good thing I don't have access to Dilaudid, because if I did, I'd be chasing that. You know, just, that's probably the closest I've ever come to understanding like that pull to be like, I would do almost anything to feel that again. You know, I just didn't have access to it. And I guess, again, maybe I don't have the other, whatever other factors would contribute,
the OCD part,
to kind of push me into an addiction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you said that 2 times in your life you had gotten to that point.
Yeah. The second time was,
the first one was strictly because of the physical pain.
Yeah. Well, it took a mental toll on me. Yeah. But it was just the constant pain. I mean, I could look up pictures. I mean, I was like 130 pounds, like at the peak of my disease. I was real thin, and I've always been a thin guy, but this was ridiculous. I mean, in my adulthood, before the disease hit, I was 180, and then for years I was about 130, super sick, anemic, all kinds of things like that.
Did you ever get called crackhead?
No, but I remember like hearing of people like
having rumors.
Like, what's going on with Jorge? Like, is he all right? Is he doing stuff? It's like, and then it never directly, but I remember hearing, murmurs and whispers.
Yeah, if I was there and I saw you, I would have definitely like, yo, he's on some shit. Right?
You would have clocked me. No, bro. There was a time. Right now, my hands are dry just because of what I do. Like the chlorine like dries my hands out this time of year, everything like that. But at that time, again, just kind of part and parcel with the disease, I was washing my hands so much because it was a disease that it had me in the bathroom all the time. Like, my hands were covered in scabs that I didn't even feel. I think because I was just the Percocet like constantly, so I didn't even feel pain. But my hands, you would have thought I just dragged them on concrete, like they were just open sores.
Damn.
So again, I understand maybe some people going like, if they didn't know what I was going through, like, what's going on with Jorge? But
so what about the second time?
The second time that I got like in that dark place like that, where I wanted to, it was again my second marriage ended. Let's just be straight up, because of infidelity. She was unfaithful, and it really hit. I never in my life intended to have a second marriage. So going into that, I kind of, I ignored. In hindsight, I could say I ignored probably a few red flags, but not probably. I ignored a few red flags.
What were one of those red flags? Like the very first one you can think of.
I would say the major one that kind of kept coming up was kind of like the rules don't apply to her. Like everything has an except. Like if she didn't like being told no about something, be that in a store or a restaurant or something, like there was always some workaround. Like, no, I'm not accepting no. Like, I get my way.
You can't tell her no, but she can tell you no.
Yeah, I mean, I told her no and stuff like that, but it was in our personal dynamic with each other. It wasn't that evident. It was just more like I kind of saw that anytime a situation come up that she didn't like the no outcome, she would always push or trying to find a way to make it a yes. So
And
Yeah.
did the sorry,
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
so that's when you took the SSRIs. Did they work?
Yeah. Yeah. It kind of, if anything, it just kind of, I would say, it never gave me a happy feeling. It just kind of, I was bottoming out, and it just kind of raised the bottom a little bit. That's basically the best way I could describe it. It just felt like when I hit low points, they weren't as low when I was on the Wellbutrin.
Mm,
So that's probably the best way I could describe it.
yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't walking around with like a weird fake smile. Like I wasn't feeling happy. It's just like they didn't make me happy. They just made the low points a little more bearable and not as dark.
Okay.
It did what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, I guess.
That's crazy.
Mm.
I never. So, I mean, kind of why I wanted to bring up the topic was because, like, I grew up going to Park Place, you know, and going to seeing therapists and psychiatrists and diagnosed with this and that, and obviously my mental health was like, maybe I was autistic and had no idea, you know, like what was going on with me. What about you, Terry? Did you ever come to a point where you wanted to unalive yourself?
Yeah, I think I was like 21. It was when I moved. I was in Florida because I had been for like a year and some change, and I met this girl who was
It's always some girl.
Ain't that the way it always starts?
Yeah. It's like
Nah, fuck it.
some girl for him, some girl for you.
And this is when the first time the way I found out about I was from Chicago, and the way I found out about Baker Act because my auntie and my cousin had me Baker Act, and I wasn't.
What'd you do?
I was actually sitting like at the like the bar tops in the house, but I was just drinking with the lights out. And when they came in the house, I was crying over the bottle, So it felt like I was a danger because I never heard of Baker Act in Chicago or whatever. They probably got another name.
You were sitting in a house like a villain.
But I guess that freaked them out because I've been around them all my life from Chicago to Florida, and they never seen me like that, especially about no girl. So
yeah. I can just imagine.
Next thing you know, the police came in and asked me, "Am I all right?" And I was like, "Yeah, just about something about a girl." I remember telling them like, "Yeah, I'm sad over a girl, this and then I probably drank too much." And then that's when they said, "Stand up and put your hands behind your back," and he took me to Park Place.
But I was the
Put
only.
me in there for them 3 days for real. And I too was described. That's how I heard that Wellbutrin. I was described that too. But when I found, I took it for a time, but then the doctor asked me, "Do I drink?" And he asked me how much I drink, and I remember telling him the truth, like I drank like every day. She said, "Well, you shouldn't take that because in tests, some people can get seizures. That's like a person that's a heavy. He didn't call me no alcoholic. I didn't call myself one either. He just said a heavy drinker shouldn't take that medicine, even if he wasn't talking about with the booze. He was just saying period, like because I prescribe medicine stay in your system, even if you ain't taking it at the same time you are drinking. But I remember, like you said, it wasn't like it was a happy pill. It just like it'll take some of the anxiety off, or things didn't seem as bad as you like how you like if I took it. So
Yeah.
it wasn't. But then I to another doctor, and the doctor suggested that like naturally, like if you don't feel like you need any medication, you shouldn't be prescribed. So
Have you guys heard about that?
take no more of that when I got my own, because I went But my insurance, I went to see my own doctor, and I know Park Place doctor. Because Park Place, I felt like it was just giving me stuff because I was in there for 30 days versus
Did you quit the Wellbutrin like just on your own, like cold turkey? You just quit? Yeah, I did the same thing. You're not supposed to, but yeah, I did. I just got to a point where I was like, I don't want to take this
I was
anymore.
going to ask you guys, since you guys are all been prescribed that, okay? Did your doctor ever tell you about having like a chemical imbalance in your brain?
I mean,
Like,
I've heard of
heard
that.
it? You've heard of it,
I've
right?
heard of that, yeah.
But like, I've heard that it's actually debunked, that it's not even true
I
anymore.
don't know. The question for me is, did my doctor say that to me? No.
Okay.
No, he
But
just.
my other doctor, he prescribed something similar. It was called Bruce Ball or whatever. It was supposed to be like Xanax, but not addictive. But I took that for like a few months. Then when you go do your checkup or whatever, I told him like I don't feel like I need to be taking medication. Like, and he said, all right. Because
Yeah.
they also prescribed me Seroquel, but it was making me feel like a zombie when I wake up in the morning, no matter if I slept 8 hours or whatever. It was like I felt like sluggish. And I was a manager now, and I was at the time, and I was like, I can't go to work like that. You know what I mean? And I didn't like how it feels, you know.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason why I bring this up too is just like, you guys were making me think. My sister, she got prescribed those pills, and she's saying that she said it's her doctor, but I do believe it's actually her husband or soon-to-be ex-husband was convinced her that she has a chemical imbalance in her brain. And like, I know that anytime we bring up any topic about her mistakes in the marriage and like things that she doesn't like to be held accountable to, she like goes off the rails. Like, it's almost like she snaps and then goes off and does her own thing. And it's like we have to walk on eggshells when it comes to certain topics. And it was never like that growing up. So how do you guys well, she's winged off of it. I think she's like on a very low dose if she is. But yeah, I mean, it's very scary right now. Like with her, it's like almost like I don't know if or when I might get the call that she, did something like to kill herself.
Like that's a thing that's in the back of your head. It's
it's in the back of my head. Like even when she comes and visits and like we talk or whatever, I'm like I can't say anything or like she gets to she has to control the dynamics of conversations or whatever, and like anytime we have to circle around certain things, because if we bring up anything about her issues, it's like, she goes off and like she throws a tantrum, like a little baby. And I mean, I'm scared for her because of her situation, but as far as my mental health is like I'm with Albert, like I take my sobriety more serious because I feel like if I work on my spirit, then my mentality and my physical will be aligned, right? Like, is that how it is for you? Like, as a quote unquote normal civilian?
What?
Like, how do you deal like with your mental health now that you're not on those things?
I just, I mean, for lack of a better term, I just man up about my shit. Like,
you man up?
Yeah, like whatever.
Stuff it under a rug or what?
Pretty much. I mean, here's the thing. Yeah, I think especially in the aftermath of that second divorce, I was able to find. I'm blessed that I have like good dudes around me that I could like really, you know, for the most part, a lot of times, like when we know friendships among men, you know, we skirt the more serious issues and stuff like that. We don't necessarily like open up about certain things, right? But I was able to do that. Again, one of those people is Mike. I mean, because since he's the pastor of this church, but he's also been a friend of mine. So it's like I've spoken to him in that kind of like two-sided, like it's a conversation. It's like I'm speaking. It's like you're qualified to give me spiritual, you know, counsel and advice, right? But you can also hear me out as a friend, and you know, you've known me this long, right?
Yeah.
So I think I leaned into my friendships. You know, I don't have a bunch of them. I think friend is a big shiny word. I don't just hand it out to anybody, you know? Even if I'm cool with somebody, like it takes a while for me to say like that's my friend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that also just goes to just
Damn, it
things
sounds
that
a
have
lot
happened
like
to me
you,
that
Albert.
I don't trust. I just don't. I haven't been. Most of my life, when I've handed trust, it's been destroyed. So now I'm a lot more careful about how I just divvy that up.
Actually, I see it a little differently.
You see it differently now?
Yeah, I don't put such emphasis on the word friend. I have tons of friends, but I mean, the word friend just doesn't mean probably what you mean by it, which is something more of a close bond, I guess. I just want to go back to the SSRI thing real quick.
Yeah.
So my a wise man once said, or the way he explains it is that he knew he wasn't clinically depressed, and by clinically depressed, again, I'm no doctor or anything like that. I don't know I think what he meant by clinically depressed is the kind of depression that is helped by SSRIs or by other therapeutic means. And so I thought for many years that I was depressed and that I could deal with it in that way. And it simply didn't work. So SSRIs did not work for me. They didn't change anything. Now, granted, I didn't do things ever in my life, and including in this period, as prescribed. When I say as prescribed, and I don't mean like I took more pills because they don't get you high. I mean, you should probably not do this, right? Like you shouldn't go on a fucking cocaine binge.
While being on that.
Right. Like if you're going to go on this treatment that's 6 months or a year, or a treatment that we don't even know how long it is, it's, indefinite, and we might go off of it. We might stay on it. People stay on that thing for years, but it just becomes a part of your life. You kind of have to change some things in your life. And I wasn't fully honest with my doctor about how much cocaine I used and how much I drank. And if I would have probably not been honest, he probably wouldn't put me on it. You know what I mean? But my direct experience with it is it didn't work. And so I just stopped using it. As simple as that. I was also on other stuff too, prescribed. And that stuff did get you high, both ADHD medication and anxiety medication. That stuff did get you high. And when it comes to medication that gets me high, I'm abusing it.
And so do you still have ADHD or?
Yeah, I mean, if I went to a doctor, I'm probably sure he'd diagnose me with the ADHD again. I was diagnosed with ADHD in 2014 when I went to a psychiatrist. I haven't been to a psychiatrist since. And yet, do I feel mentally stable? Yes. Do I feel emotionally stable? Yes. I feel physically stable too. I can't speak to how physical stable I am. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
I'm borderline retarded when it comes to, what are your cholesterol levels? I don't even know. I think I'm good because the doctor says, yeah, you're good. Right. Same thing with.
Do you actually see a doctor? Oh.
There you go. So, I mean, if I went to a mental health specialist, he would probably be like, ask me some questions and be like, you're good.
Yeah.
I have nothing to complain about. However, how did I get from there to here? It wasn't through SSRIs. It wasn't through therapy. I tried all those things and it just wasn't the answer for me.
Yeah. So what was the answer?
The answer for me was a spiritual transformation.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what I mean by spiritual. I mean, I guess not physical.
Yeah. I would say spiritual is like the ritual of the spirit, right? Like
Sure.
a certain patterns.
You mean by spirit? I mean, I don't necessarily I don't necessarily adhere to the, there's a little ghost inside of me pulling levers kind of soul,
Mhm.
not to say that that's wrong. I'm just saying that I don't necessarily adhere to that.
What do
So
you believe about like having a soul?
I do, and I don't know how that works. I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
I really don't. I think my take on it is that there is a spiritual realm and there's a physical realm, and they may or may not overlap, but as you said, I focus on the spiritual realm, and the physical realm kind of
Kind of straightens itself out.
strains itself out.
Yeah.
The way it kind of carries on. Good thing, because what am
Yeah.
I really gonna do about the physical realm?
Yeah.
You just look at your tininess in this universe.
Yeah.
Like, what impact physically could I make? Like, I can't even stop a wave, much
Yeah.
less like make any real impact in the physical realm. So in the spiritual realm, I don't know, man.
I think that you have impacted a lot of people, especially in Kissimmee. Like you have made, although you say you can't stop a wave, you've created ripples in people's lives that would amount to probably waves later on, because it'll like ricochet and it impacts lives through generations. Because, I mean, a lot of people look up to you, a lot. And I mean, you probably don't understand because this is the first time you're meeting him, but like this guy has definitely taken the majority of Kissimmee through this spiritual
No, I mean,
program.
I don't have any firsthand knowledge of that, but I mean, I know you've been here for for a while now, years. And I've heard you speak about the program and things like that, and I could imagine that if somebody is really active in recovery and sponsoring and assisting people through that process, I mean, families, children, mothers are positively affected because you gave a shit, and you probably showed up to meet with somebody or took a phone call at a probably an inconvenient time for you. Maybe I'm sure that's happened. I don't have any first hand knowledge, but I'm sure that's happened, and those things have absolutely made a difference, right?
What do you guys think about this? The real addiction that we all have, alcoholic, non-alcoholic, addict, non-addict, the real addiction that we all have is an addiction to self, like an addiction to your singularity. And by singularity, I mean that you're somehow special or somehow, I don't want to use the word unique because I do think we're unique.
You're like the ego, right?
Right. Like you are unique and God does love you. Those things are true. And then over here, and I'm talking to myself here, you're not special. Like you're not special at all in this universe. You are not special at all. You're like, Jesus is special.
Yeah.
God is special. Like I'm not special. So this addiction to wanting to be, and I think that alcoholics, in a way, from my experience, have this to like to an extra degree. I think everybody has it, but to an extra degree, we have this need to be singular, to be number one, to be like, why do you want to be ripped? Why do you want to be good at your job? Why do you does it even really matter in the spiritual realm? Probably not. Like, why is it that I want these things?
Yeah.
My desire isn't like a saint's where I get up and my desire is
My desire is to control.
to help the homeless. You know what I mean? Like every single day, like that's what I get up for. And there's periods, right? There's moments where yes, I have this desire to help and I have this desire, but in my regular life, I'm striving for more for me. I'm striving to be better, bigger, faster,
Wealthier,
etc.
better looking.
What do you guys think about that?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Anyone? Sorry.
No. I if anything, I've gone through life with probably low self-esteem. And I think, again, I think I've just had enough, and it's not a contest. I've had hits in my life, and a lot of those hits have like really like done a number on me, right? So I think instead of thinking too highly of myself, I resort to like being, I want to be sacrificial. Like the sacrifices that I make come from a genuine place. Like I want to, for example, I mean, my main reason for anything that I've done for the last 18 years has been my daughter, you know? So any sacrifices that I've made, anything that I've denied myself has been ultimately to advance her life. You know what I'm saying? So any pursuit of I mean, I put my career on the back burner for the last 4 years while she's been in high school because I wanted to be around and available more than I was when I was working in an accounting firm. And like for June through May, I was in an office for like 12, 13 hours a day, right? So I said, all right, this is high school. I've always been really active and involved with her, but I was like, all right, these are crucial years here to really be involved in your daughter's life, you know? So I said, all right, I'm going to take a step back from all that. I'm going to do something that is going to pay me less. It's going to be more difficult, but at the end of the day, the trade-off is more availability and time with my daughter, you know? And I'm also kind of a minimal. I mean, I like my things. I collect things, and I like my little things. But I've never been like, I don't need to have the newest, the best, biggest house, car. My car is from 2003. It's paid off. That's the best part about it, you know. So I don't know. I get it. I that's not something that I've ever felt has been my struggle though. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like I have to battle myself to not put myself above. If anything, I've always tried to be non-intrusive and be like, oh, I don't want to get in the way of people, and so I don't know. If anything, I withdraw or retreat from being, I don't know, like number one.
Number one.
Yeah.
But number one in what? Like in anybody?
Most cases, I think. I mean,
most cases.
Yeah. Which doesn't mean that I haven't excelled at certain things in my life but what I'm saying is, in general, my I don't know. I don't know that I've done a whole lot of putting myself first. If anything, this whole thing this funny back and forth that I have with Mike's like, oh, you'll eventually. I'm like, no, I've sworn it all off. I'm retired. I'm done. that's actually me for the first time in my life saying like, no, I'm going to try putting myself first for a while, because I've always put someone else first, and then I've, gotten into these situations. So I'm going to put myself first for a while, gain some ground, recover, and press on, and make a better life for myself so that I can leave something behind for my daughter, because you can't take it with you when you're gone. So it's really anything that I build up and try to leave behind. It's for her. It's not for me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's my take.
Yeah. I mean, Terry, do you have any insight on this being addicted to self as you're texting?
And I again,
I mean, there's various ways of like, when I know when you say self, I know there's various manifestations of what that looks like.
Yeah, various degrees. I think it's your identity, right? Like who you think you are. This is kind of go back to what you said about the soul.
Yeah.
I think that the soul isn't this ghost that's pulling levers in my mind and fighting against evil, or trying to guide me the right way. I think the soul is the true me, like no identity.
The no
Not
identity.
under an American who had these experiences, who grew up this way, who
just the observer.
The observer, right?
Yeah.
It's just this.
Like who's observing? That's the real question,
right? And so, but I'm addicted to, you can call it the ego, but this this meanness, right? This is who I am, right? And you see it in society too, about like identity politics and all that stuff. Like, this is who I am, and you should respect me for who I am, and I'm black, and I'm this and that. I'm Hispanic, and I'm this and that. And I don't know. It's just this race to be someone. This individual, and it comes from a good place, right? It comes from a good place of individual freedom and democracy, and my voice counts, and I am someone. I'm really not. I'm unique again, and there's no one like me, both genetically, and no one's had my exact experiences. So I am unique, but I'm not special. I really deserve this or that or that or this. Like I
think that's a society. We live in a society though that places a lot of value in that specialness and exactly, and all these external factors of like what makes you special, be that exactly who you're attracted to, or your skin tone, or where you're from, and this, and you know what I'm saying. I think and again, I thank God for all this stuff. I thank God for there's no perfect upbringing or anything like that, but I think I was always raised to just know it's like, if I'm gonna take pride in any aspect of my identity, it's my Christian identity. If I would love for the first thing that people, if anybody has to describe me, the first thing they say is he's Christian. Like, I would love if the first thing that came out of their mouth was Christian, not Puerto Rican.
You want to know how I described you whenever I told Albert that you were coming? I was like, oh, my friend George, he's a Bible thumper. Kind of like how you're a big book thumper.
Yeah. Nailed it with the word pride.
Yeah.
Because that's what it becomes, right? Look at it's not a gay parade, it's a pride parade.
Mm-hmm.
Proud of who you are, but pride is this complicated thing where I can be proud of you for doing well, and you can be proud of yourself but
sure.
Very easily does that shift to here I am,
Yeah.
Like, I'm better than you.
Yeah.
I sponsored a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
And anything. It's not just the ownership of cool things. It's, and I got this, but and what I wear and the tattoos I have, it's also in like, I'm the, I started a group, or I helped this guy. This guy's sober because of me.
Yeah.
Perspective is important. Where it's like, exactly, like you may have, again, played a part or been some part
Yeah.
of
Like
that process. But at the end of the day, I mean, the way I see it, God's used you to do that.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? So if anything, you're a vessel for what He wants to carry out in the world. You know.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you call me a Bible thumper. I've never thought of myself that way. But I'm not gonna take offense to it, but it's weird. Yeah, a Christian, like I would
Yeah.
hope that people are like, yeah, he's a Christian dude, you know. But I've never. I guess in my mind, when I think of a Bible thumper, I'm like, I'm not that.
Yeah. Well,
But
I mean, I think that you've studied the Bible, though, right?
yeah,
To some extent.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Like I even carry one with me all the time now. But
Yeah.
I didn't do that till the last few years of my life. I mean, I'm
and you know a lot about the Bible.
I guess I would.
I guess.
I
mean, you know the basics. You know enough.
Yeah. I know. Let's put it like this. My belief is, my faith is to the point where if I were to drop dead right now, I know exactly where I'm going. Like I'm not
Yeah.
afraid to die. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want to die painfully.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but like, you know what I'm saying? It's what comes next is like, please, yes, let's have that. You know, but yeah, like I didn't like. What, maybe within the last 4 years is when I said I want like my Bible, so that whenever we're in church or life group or something like that, I don't have to open up my app. Like I want to put hands on a physical object that is my Bible, and I put the little tabs in it so I could like search more easily like what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise I'm like flipping through pages.
Yeah.
You know, I know Matthew, Mark, Luke, John is the beginning of the New Testament. Acts, I think, is the next book, and then don't tell me. Like I think I would probably have a good working knowledge, but I wouldn't say that I'm in any position to, you know, lecture anybody. I could share testimonies of my life, but that's about it. Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
I'm a mess. I'm a complete mess.
Yeah.
There's plenty that I do that like I'm like I would be ashamed and to share. You know, if anything. If I've ever had a conversation with somebody who's a non-believer, and it's, I would say, look, the only difference between you and I is that I think you're a mess too, but I'm willing to say I am a mess, and I need something bigger than me to save me from me. You know?
Yeah.
So I thank God that that's for the gift of faith, so that I could acknowledge that it's not me, and if it were just me, then I'm bound for hell. I'm a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your take on it?
That's the only way I was able to stop living through God and not my own willpower. Like God reasons, like I'm not in jail, prison, because when I was drinking, I always got in trouble. It was like, ever since I found God, I don't get in trouble. It's been 3 years, no police behind me. And I don't go to jail or do anything stupid and don't have the fuck it's about. Whatever happens to me happens, you know what I mean? So when I found God, things changed for the better for me, like miraculously, you know what I mean? I used to hear that back in the day, and you know, through your grandmothers, and because they used to make us go to church, you know what I mean? So, but as you get older, they can't make you go to church no more, so you don't go. I wasn't willing to go, you know what I mean? But once I was willing, you know, everything changed for me in my life for the better. You know what I mean? Nothing is perfect, you know, and I don't expect it to be. You know what I mean? But I know that I'm gonna be okay. You know what I mean? So I don't too much tend to worry about anything today, like, because I know I got God. So I know, like, as long as I'm not drinking, I'm gonna be all right. Like, so I don't worry about driving on my life or anything else. You know, worst case scenario, I guess I'll die sober.
Yeah.
That's how I gotta look at it.
That's good.
I wasn't thinking, you know, just for 3 short years, I would never thought that. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I drank every day, like 7 days a week. You know what I mean? When I was a manager at work, you know, got the keys. gave and everything. So, but ever since I found God, like I said, I don't have that that thing to drink. So the thing is, I just gotta always still wake up and think about him and pray to God, because if I don't, I probably will be back in the liquor store drinking again, because I drank for 33 years and only been not drinking 3 years. So in the big scope of things, I ain't did nothing.
And obviously, when you say drinking, you mean like when you drink, it's
A gallon.
it's
a half a gallon. Sorry.
you're not talking about having a couple beers. Exactly. You're talking about you getting fucked up.
Right. And back when I grew up, they had a liquor store right across the street from my high school. I went to and we had open campus back then, and we had an hour out for lunch. And one of the guys, he looked a little older, but it probably didn't matter. They probably would have said, "Oh, so you between anyway." And he got a bottle of gin. So my first liquor was actually gin. I taste beer at like my family reunions and but I thought beer was nasty. I spit it out, right? So I was like, as a kid, I ain't gonna drink that. It's nasty. But when I tasted gin, for some reason I love it because I liked it. And
The dry
it
gin.
was the feeling. You know what I mean? So I probably was alcoholic as soon as I started drinking, I guess at 14, because I never kind of like stopped drinking.
Did you have a family history of it?
No, because what's crazy, my parents didn't drink, right? My mother and father. But my father's mother, she died at the age of 42 from cirrhosis of the liver. I remember when I turned 42, that was when my father called me. And he said, "Yo, that's when your grandmother died. Don't you think you should probably stop drinking?" And I'd be like, I used to always think like I didn't have no problem though, because I'm like, all the bills paid and everything else. I didn't really know what a alcoholic was. I thought like the people standing on the corner with cardboard signs, having to ask for change, standing outside Walmart, stuff like that. And I didn't think I was. I worked at the same job for 20 years, you know what I mean? And took my kids on vacations and everything else. So I thought like,
and you were able to carry on a pretty normal life from the outside. Like people would just be like, I mean, he's getting things done. He works.
and it was pointed out a lot of times from Chicago. Like I burnt bridges I got 2 sisters. I'm the oldest. I got 2 sisters and a brother, all younger than me. The closest one next to me is my sister that's 5 years younger than me. None of them is drinkers, right? And these always tell me, you got a problem. But I'll always use that to my back and be like, y'all don't drink. Like everybody that telling me that I had a problem was the people that don't drink. So I'm like, how y'all know I got a problem? You don't drink. You know what I mean?
Right.
But eventually the people that you drink with tell you got a problem. Because they say, let's have a drink, and they really mean that. Like a drink.
A drink, yeah.
And I say, okay. Or a shot. I always continue to drink. When I look back, every time I went to a bar or anywhere else, I always stayed to last call, because I thought like, who goes to a bar to leave early? I thought it was weird. Like, or just to have a couple of drinks, like coworkers.
Do you still have a problem with people who don't finish their drinks? Do you still have a problem? I still have a problem with that. Like,
weird.
It is.
I'm like, yo, you gonna finish that?
It is weird, but then sometimes it's a good thing too, I mean, shame on them,
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. If you're gonna pour yourself a drink, finish it, right? But yeah. You want it straight, yeah.
And like even the bottles I bought, I put them in the deep freeze.
Yeah, because it won't freeze because the alcohol content
in his room.
Tell them that was a good idea to get a deep freezer.
Yeah.
And then when it came, I put it in the bedroom, and she said,
"So I don't have to walk to the kitchen."
So the kids don't eat the ice cream.
So they won't eat the junk food and the sweets, ice
Yeah.
cream, popsicles, and all this. And she
Yeah, but that ain't it.
and she believed it.
Right.
I
Right.
piled up all the stuff on the deck, and I kept my 1738
Right.
at the bottom. But eventually, like, she don't drink, so she come in the bedroom, eat this, alcohol. Even though I got the cup hidden behind the dresser, she know, like,
Yeah. Eventually, yeah.
and then I'd be sloppy sometimes, slurring, and then she say, "You ain't drunk." Of course I'm.
Yeah.
No, I ain't been drinking. You know what I mean? Then she search everywhere.
So when you would, is it? Because I would think that after a while, as with almost anything, you build up a tolerance, you know?
Yeah.
So were you drinking to the point where, like, even in your tolerance, it's like, no, I'm drinking till I'm drunk.
She used to even tell me that, like, yo, you buy what wants, because every time she used to tell me you an alcoholic or you a drunk, you need some help. And she's always point out, like, yo, you buying a half a gallon. And I used to tell her, because I was budgeting. I said, if you buy a pint,
It's a better deal if I get the guy.
but you won't finish.
Yeah.
Like you finished the whole guy.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, this is financial sense. It just makes more sense to buy it in bulk. I mean,
so I used to tell her that, and she'd be like, yo, then she'd come back and see, like, the whole, like, she went somewhere,
Yeah.
and she'd see it like this and be like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like,
Then she got
what
to
are
the-
you budgeting for tomorrow?
Yeah.
She got to the point where she pulled, like, every time she didn't care how much I paid for alcohol, she pulled it out.
Yeah.
So I had to just, like, sometimes I used to hide it outside, like literally in the bushes and shit like that. Like, I had liquor outside.
Mhm.
But then we had a Ring camera, and she got sense on me. You know, the Ring camera, it shows, she had it to where I'm thinking it wasn't, to that side. She widened it. It's like, oh, boom, she see me out there. And I know she out there.
And then she go out there and go to the bush and like, this motherfucker.
You're not gardening. Yeah.
It got bad, and to the point she filed for divorce because she told me she didn't, that she don't believe in 20 years. Like, if you drank the whole time of the marriage, then I don't think you can ever be sober. And at first I was upset because, of course, nobody want to hear that. You know what I mean? But then, now that I got sober, I understood that why. That she thought, like, because, like, she told me, if you tell me 1,000 times you was gonna stop drinking, and why should I believe you on 1,000th time?
Right.
She told me that straight up. She
Right.
said, because she said, how many times you think you told me you was gonna stop drinking in this? And I said, I don't know. She said, we'll put a nice round number on it, 1,000. I said, okay. She said, so why the fuck should I believe you on 1,001 time?
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, I was like, upset. But I was still drinking. You know what I mean? So, but when I got sober, I realized, like, she had merit to believe, like, that, what she believed. You know what I mean? Because
Do you hope one day she'll believe you?
it doesn't matter at this point because she divorced me. So whether
Well, I'm
she
just
believe
saying.
me or not is pointless now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because that was what kept me drinking. Even my parents told me, like, yo, that's your crutch, because I was always worried about what she thinking and saying, I'm gonna quit for her. Even therapists and everybody used to tell me, like, you ain't gonna never be sober or quit drinking if you're trying to quit for your 4 kids and her. And I just say, yeah, I can do it for her. But it never worked out that way. You know what I mean? Even if it went months or whatever the case may be, soon shit in my head hit the fan. What did I go do? I went and drank. You know what I mean? One time I quit for like 13 months before. And I bought a shot and right around in the liquor store. Went and bought a half a gallon and went missing for 2 days. And she filed a missing persons report. You know what I mean? And thought I was dead because I never had did that before. And my drinking had got escalated and got worse. You know what I mean? And
Did you ever go missing, Albert?
Oh yeah.
because even though I got drunk, I mean, not to cut you off, I used
Because you
to
got-
always, in marriage, it was always understood to me, never let the sun beat you home. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Mhm.
Like you can do a lot of things, but you got to come home before it's daylight. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Or it's a problem. You
Mhm.
could have a good excuse to be in the hospital, jail,
Mhm.
or you better be dead for real. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But when that happened, I think that really started what she said, you know what, he ain't gonna never he ain't gonna never do right. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Which I can never blame her. Yeah, I was upset. But
Right.
probably in hindsight it's kind of better, I think, because I probably wouldn't be sober today. Honestly, if I was probably still married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I gotta go.
Okay. Well, that's as far as we can go today.